Imagine trusting a stranger for just one moment, and that single decision turns into your worst nightmare. In a busy city in India, where a man named Raghav walks through a crowded amusement park, quietly scanning the people around him. After a moment, he notices a young woman, Nisha, arguing with her boyfriend Arjun. Their argument escalates quickly, and Nisha storms off, leaving him behind. Raghav sees his opportunity. He slips on a playful mask and intentionally bumps into Arjun, skillfully stealing his phone without being noticed. With the phone in hand, he heads toward the parking lot, breaks into a car with ease, and drives off. Using Arjun's phone, Raghav calls Nisha and lies, telling her that Arjun has been in an accident and left his phone with him. At first, she hesitates, unsure whether to believe him, but his calm and convincing tone slowly gains her trust. Eventually, she agrees to meet him. When he picks her up, he explains that Arjun was hit by a truck and has been taken to the hospital with a serious head injury. Hearing this, Nisha becomes anxious and panicked. Raghav offers to take her there immediately, and after a brief hesitation, she gets into the car. However, things quickly take a dark turn. Instead of heading toward any hospital, Raghav drives onto an unfamiliar road. Nisha grows suspicious and demands that he stop the car. Suddenly, he accelerates, confirming her fears. She tries to escape, even attempting to jump out, but he forcefully pulls her back in and knocks her unconscious using chloroform. Later, he brings her to a remote mansion, where her cries echo through the empty surroundings for hours. As night falls, police and media gather at the crime scene. Soon, a respected senior officer, Inspector Kavya Rao, arrives. Known for her sharp instincts and investigative skills, she pushes past reporters and orders them to wait for an official briefing. Her junior officer informs her that the media was called prematurely by another officer, Inspector Malik, which irritates her. She reprimands him for compromising a sensitive investigation. Kavya begins examining the scene carefully, reconstructing the sequence of events with precision. Meanwhile, Malik grows frustrated, believing he has already solved the case by arresting Arjun, whom he suspects due to his argument with the victim. But Kavya disagrees. After closely studying the injuries, she concludes that the attacker is likely a shorter, left-handed individual who used a sharp-edged belt as a weapon. She points out that Arjun is not left-handed, which contradicts Malik's theory. Malik, however, dismisses her analysis and makes insensitive remarks about the victim's lifestyle. Kavya immediately shuts him down, insisting that their job is to find the truth, not judge the victim. During the post-mortem, the forensic doctor reveals the horrifying details. Nisha suffered severe injuries caused by repeated assaults with a sharp belt. The attacker acted with extreme brutality, suggesting deep psychological disturbance. The doctor also confirms signs of assault and multiple bite marks across her body. When the sheet is lifted, Kavya notices that part of the victim's cheek has been bitten off. The sight is so disturbing that one of the junior officers turns away, unable to handle it. Even Kavya struggles to hold back her emotions, deeply shaken by the cruelty. Determined, her superior orders her to catch the killer quickly. As the case is gaining national attention, Kavya requests permission to form her own investigative team and insists on choosing members she trusts. After some resistance, her request is granted. As the investigation begins, Kavya interviews Nisha's family and learns that she was outspoken and helped her father run a small medical shop after college. Her parents are devastated, breaking down as they recall their daughter. Meanwhile, Raghav meets with a powerful politician named Varma, who has secretly hired him. Varma reveals that he brought Raghav from another city because of his reputation for making problems disappear. Raghav is given his next target, a journalist named Rahul, whose death must appear accidental. Although Varma's associates doubt him, Raghav remains unfazed. At that moment, he watches a news broadcast where Kavya confidently declares that she will personally hunt down the killer. Her words ignite anger in him, revealing that he is closely following the investigation. Later, Kavya receives a mysterious message, realizing the killer is deliberately taunting her. She rushes out in search of clues, unaware that Raghav is nearby, quietly observing her from a tea stall. He begins stalking her movements across the city, watching as she manages traffic, confronts a corrupt politician, and arrests a group of men harassing women. His twisted beliefs become clear. He sees women as inferior and resents those who challenge authority. Eventually, he follows her home, sneaking inside disguised as a worker. He enters her bedroom and makes himself comfortable. When Kavya returns, she notices something is wrong. Her mirror is marked, and some of her belongings are missing. Raghav continues to monitor the police station when one of Varma's men approaches him again. Shortly after, Varma calls, warning him to stop his distractions and complete the assigned task. Realizing he's being watched, Raghav agrees but responds arrogantly, demanding a car and promising the job will be done soon. After the call, he recruits a young tea vendor named Chotu, offering him money to assist in his plan. The boy agrees without hesitation. Disguised in women's clothing using items stolen from Kavya, Raghav approaches Rahul. Pretending to feel unwell, he gains Rahul's sympathy and is taken inside his house. At the same time, Chotu lures Rahul's wife, Meera, away under false pretenses. Inside the house, Raghav suddenly attacks Rahul, ties him up, and forces him to call his wife. Under threat, Rahul tells Meera to follow Chotu's instructions. Raghav then forces Rahul to record a video confession. Unaware of what's about to happen, the moment the engine is turned on, the parked car suddenly explodes. At the same time, Raghav kills the journalist, Rahul, inside his house, making it look like a suicide. Soon after, the police arrive and find Rahul's body staged as a hanging, along with the recorded confession. When Inspector Kavya Rao reaches the scene, she immediately senses something is wrong. She notices that the fabric used matches the clothing stolen from her own home, confirming that this is no suicide but a carefully planned murder. Back at the station, Kavya connects the dots between Nisha's murder and Rahul's death, concluding that both crimes are linked to the same killer. At that moment, Raghav walks into the station disguised as a replacement T-boy. Pretending to be mute, he blends in easily. Kavya even communicates with him through gestures, unaware that he is silently observing everything. Meanwhile, Inspector Malik openly criticizes Kavya, revealing his resentment toward her leadership, something Raghav quickly notices and mentally stores. Determined to find new leads, Kavya revisits both the original crime scene and the site of the car explosion. The surrounding area is filled with slum settlements, but questioning locals yields no useful information. Just as she is about to leave, a young boy named Imran approaches her. He reveals that he saw someone park the same car there the day before the explosion. Recognizing the importance of this lead, Kavya immediately brings Imran to the station and calls in a sketch artist. As she begins discussing the case with her team, Raghav secretly listens from nearby. Startled by what he hears, he accidentally drops a cup but quickly recovers, making an excuse and stepping away. While preparing refreshments, he quietly adds something harmful into Imran's drink. Another staff member unknowingly serves it to the boy. Moments later, just as the sketch is about to begin, Imran suddenly feels unwell and rushes to the washroom with an officer. Inside, Raghav is already waiting. He attacks the boy and silences him. When the officer outside grows suspicious due to the delay, Raghav hides the body in a sack, breaks a window, and escapes just seconds before the door is forced open. He drops the sack onto a pile of construction materials and disappears without a trace. By the time Kavya arrives, Raghav has already returned to his tea stall, calmly watching as she reprimands her team for losing a crucial witness. A search quickly leads to the discovery of Imran's body nearby, confirming the killer struck again right under police supervision. Later that night, Raghav retrieves the body and disposes of it near a railway line. Sitting casually at a cafe afterward, he calls Malik and manipulates him, pointing out that Kavya's key witness died while in custody. He subtly encourages Malik to use the situation to damage her reputation. Soon, the news leaks. Reports spread rapidly that a young witness has died in police custody, and public outrage begins to build against Kavya. When she arrives at the station, reporters surround her with accusations. The situation becomes even more painful when she encounters the boy's grieving parents. Their heartbreak deeply affects her, but she remains composed. Shortly after, Kavya is summoned by her superior and informed that she will be transferred due to the media pressure. Refusing to back down, she returns to the station and declares that she will solve the case within 2 days before the transfer takes effect. Her team stands behind her, ready to act quickly. She immediately assigns one officer to trace the source of a medical inhaler linked to the killer, while she continues investigating Rahul's murder. Meanwhile, Raghav begins following the young woman who publicly confronted and slapped him earlier, his ego still bruised. Back at the station, Kavya learns that Rahul had many enemies due to his work as a journalist. However, she believes someone in the criminal network must know more. With time running out, her team suggests seeking help from Malik, who has years of experience and a strong network of informants. Putting aside personal differences, Kavya approaches him and admits she needs his assistance. She assures him that he will receive recognition if the case is solved. This convinces Malik to cooperate. He connects her with an informant who runs a jewelry business. When they meet him, he refuses to talk without gaining something in return. Kavya uses her authority to resolve an issue he is facing with a large shipment stuck at customs. Within minutes, the problem is cleared. Satisfied, the informant reveals that a powerful politician named Bhattacharya is behind Rahul's murder and advises her to contact his associate, Karan. Kavya's team quickly captures Karan and brings him in for interrogation. Under pressure, he eventually breaks and reveals the name of the killer, Raghav. He also provides information about Raghav's hideout, leading the police to a construction site where he has been staying. The team raids the location, searching every corner, but Raghav is nowhere to be found. Instead, they discover something disturbing: walls covered in strange writings and unsettling messages, reflecting the killer's twisted mindset. As Kavya explores deeper, she finds the same young woman who had confronted Raghav earlier. She is badly injured and barely alive, confirming that Raghav attacked her in retaliation. Meanwhile, Raghav escapes just in time after receiving a warning call from Bhattacharya, who advises him to leave the city for a while. The police rush the injured girl to the hospital as Kavya realizes the killer is now escalating rapidly and becoming even more dangerous. Kavya soon learns that the inhaler connected to the suspect was actually purchased from the medical shop owned by Nisha's father, tightening the link between the killer and the victim. As she heads back toward the station, a street beggar secretly alerts Raghav about her location. Seizing the opportunity, he comes up with another plan. He deliberately injures himself by hitting his head and then collapses in the middle of the road just as Kavya's vehicle approaches. Seeing him lying there, she quickly stops the car and rushes to help. Believing he's just an injured civilian, she places him inside and begins driving, urging him to stay conscious. But in a sudden move, Raghav pulls off his belt and tries to strangle her from behind. Kavya reacts instantly. Her instincts kick in and she blocks the attack just in time. In that moment, she realizes the truth. The quiet T-boy is the killer she has been hunting. The situation turns into a violent struggle inside the moving car. Kavya swerves sharply, narrowly avoiding an oncoming truck as Raghav continues his attack. She slams the brakes, throwing him forward, then drags him out of the vehicle and begins overpowering him. She reveals that she recognized him the moment she noticed his distinctive belt, the same weapon used in the murders. Just as she calls for backup, Raghav suddenly stabs her in the thigh with a hidden object, catching her off guard. Taking advantage of the moment, he breaks free and runs. Despite the injury, Kavya chases after him across a bridge. In a desperate attempt to escape, Raghav jumps into the river below. Without hesitation, she dives in after him. Underwater, the two struggle intensely. Kavya's training gives her the upper hand, and she nearly captures him. But Raghav manages to exploit her injured leg, forcing her to lose her grip and escape right in front of her. The next morning, while Kavya receives medical treatment, her team reports that Raghav was pulled out of the river by a fisherman but managed to escape again after regaining consciousness. They also uncover a video recorded before Nisha's death. In it, Raghav is seen being beaten by passengers on a bus after harassing her. Realizing its importance, Kavya orders the video to be spread widely to help identify and track him. Soon, the footage goes viral across the city, and Kavya publicly urges citizens to help locate the suspect. Meanwhile, Raghav disguises himself again, this time hiding under a veil to avoid recognition, and finds a temporary place to stay. At the same time, the politician Bhattacharya, who previously hired him, cuts ties after learning about his reckless actions, warning him never to contact him again. Enraged by the insult, Raghav decides to retaliate. He targets Bhattacharya's family, stealing a young boy's phone in a crowded area. Using it, he calls the boy's sister, Riya, and lies that her brother has been in a serious accident. Panicked, she reveals her location. When he arrives, he calmly returns the phone and offers her a ride. Not long after, Bhattacharya receives a horrifying image: his granddaughter strapped to an explosive device. Raghav watches from a distance as Bhattacharya desperately calls him. Raghav makes a demand. He wants Kavya to publicly apologize for humiliating him. Only then will the girl be spared. Bhattacharya pleads for his granddaughter's life and pressures the police to comply. Malik even assures him he will convince Kavya. But Kavya refuses. She understands that giving in would not guarantee the girl's safety and would only empower the killer further. Instead, she focuses on tracking Raghav through surveillance footage. Her team carefully analyzes multiple camera feeds, eventually tracing his movements to an industrial area. Police units quickly mobilize and surround the location. When they arrive, they find the watchman already dead. Kavya orders her team to spread out and search every corner. As the clock ticks down, Bhattacharya arrives with a large sum of money, trying to pressure Kavya into negotiating. He even offers to stop her transfer if she cooperates. She refuses again, insisting that the law cannot be compromised. Even Malik urges her to give in, but she stands firm. Then something clicks. Kavya realizes that the killer always stages his crimes dramatically, meaning the victim is likely hidden in plain sight. Acting quickly, she locates a truck inside the compound. Inside, they find Riya tied up with an explosive device. With only seconds remaining, the team pulls her out just before the blast, saving her life at the last moment. Shortly after, Raghav reaches out to another powerful figure, Devraj, a politician preparing for an upcoming election and also connected to Bhattacharya. He offers his services again, asking for protection in return. Devraj reveals that he wants certain obstacles removed, both investigative threats and political rivals. As news of the kidnapping spreads, a media personality, Amit Varma, begins criticizing Kavya publicly, questioning her competence and leadership. Amid the growing pressure, Kavya is summoned by her superiors and ordered to step away from the case. If you're enjoying this recap so far, drop a like and hit subscribe. It really helps us bring you more intense stories like this. Now, let's continue. Despite growing pressure from all sides, Inspector Kavya Rao refuses to step away from the case. Standing firm, she addresses the situation publicly, delivering a powerful message about the challenges women face every day, even when they work just as hard as men. Her words resonate deeply. Across the country, people, especially women, are moved by her courage and conviction. Even Inspector Malik, watching the broadcast with his daughter, begins to reflect on his own attitude. Shortly after, Kavya receives a call from Raghav. He mocks her, but also acknowledges her boldness. Then he issues a chilling warning. His next target will be another strong, outspoken woman, just like her. Kavya immediately gathers her team to predict his next move. While others struggle to identify a target, Malik suddenly steps forward with a theory. He suggests that Raghav may go after Sonia Varma, a rising political figure who has recently gained prominence over rival candidate Devraj. Kavya quickly connects the dots, realizing Devraj had earlier ties to the killer. Trusting the lead, she moves to protect Sonia. During a festive evening, Sonia visits a temple to celebrate. Hidden among the crowd, Raghav prepares to strike. Unable to reach Sonia directly, Kavya alerts her security team, but it's already too late. A suspicious vehicle is seen leaving the area. A nearby checkpoint spots the car and attempts to stop it, but it crashes through the barricade, triggering a high-speed chase. Eventually, the police intercept the vehicle, only to discover that the driver is a decoy, someone Raghav paid to mislead them. Realizing she's being manipulated, Kavya reassesses the situation. She remembers that Raghav suffers from asthma and is unlikely to risk prolonged chases. Instead, he would hide nearby. Acting on instinct, she returns to the temple area while sending her team to follow other leads. Meanwhile, Raghav has already taken Sonia to a nearby house, along with the homeowner's young daughter. Inside, he rants about his beliefs, claiming that women should never challenge authority. He threatens both hostages, warning them of severe consequences. Kavya and her team begin searching the surrounding neighborhood house by house. Amid the noise and chaos of the festival, one house catches her attention. It is unusually quiet. She questions the couple living there, but they act nervous and uncooperative. When Kavya asks to use their phone, they refuse, raising her suspicions even further. Ignoring their resistance, she forces her way inside. The couple finally breaks down and reveals the truth. Raghav is upstairs, holding their daughter hostage and threatening to harm her if anyone alerts the police. Kavya hands them her phone and rushes upstairs alone. As she attempts to confront him, Raghav attacks first, overpowering her and knocking her unconscious. When she regains awareness, she finds herself tied up, watching helplessly as he violently assaults Sonia. Thinking quickly, Kavya begins provoking him by bringing up his past. She reveals that she has uncovered the truth about his childhood. Years ago, his father was a violent man who killed his own wife. As a child, Raghav unknowingly revealed his mother's hiding place, which led to her death. The trauma and guilt from that moment shattered his mind, eventually leading to his unstable behavior and worsening asthma. Her words strike a nerve. Enraged, Raghav lashes out at Kavya, attacking her brutally before reaching for his inhaler to steady himself. Even in that moment, Kavya stays focused, subtly signaling the hostages toward nearby paint containers. She continues talking, reminding him that his mother loved him and tried to protect him, hoping to destabilize him further. Consumed by anger, Raghav lunges at her again, attempting to choke her. He rants about his hatred, blaming strong women for everything wrong in his life. At that exact moment, the hostages act. They throw paint onto him, blurring his vision and triggering his breathing difficulties. Seizing the opportunity, Sonia frees Kavya. As Raghav stumbles, trying to regain control, Kavya trips him and grabs his own belt, the same weapon he used on his victims. This time, she turns it against him. She drags him outside into the street, continuing to overpower him as neighbors gather. The rescued girls join in, helping subdue him as he collapses under the weight of his actions. Finally, the long chase comes to an end. Raghav is defeated. Exhausted and injured, Kavya collapses, overwhelmed, not just by the fight, but by the memories of the victims who never got justice in time. The case is finally closed. If you made it this far, you've just witnessed one of the most intense cat and mouse stories ever told. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more powerful movie recaps like this. And tell me in the comments, what movie should we break down next?